Welcome to Sabros Talks, where every week we speak to a guest who can share their perspective on the world today. I'm your host, Javi Lopez, and today's guest is Ethan White. He's a former MLS player who retired back in 2018. He's now a photographer that has gone to Champions League finals, Women's World Cup, and many European matches and also MLS matches. He also travels around the world to take pictures from continents such as Africa, Europe, and many other continents that he has traveled to. Welcome, Ethan White.
What's up, y'all? It's Ethan White, former professional soccer player. Played with DC United, Philadelphia Union, and as my last team was NYCFC. Currently living in New York. Um, yeah, with close ties to the Bronx. So I'm glad to get to chop it up with you.
I appreciate it. I'm very thankful and grateful for this opportunity to talk to you. We met a couple. We met a couple of times, and it's always cool being around you and talking to you.
Yeah, I always remember you, man. Every single time I see you, I always says, what's up?"
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'll show the picture that we took on with my director, with Andrew. He was like, "Oh my God, you were so little." Like, I know, right?
Yeah.
Like you can see me. I was like,
Yeah.
really funny, really funny. But today, the questions are gonna be around, of course, the topic of the decade, the year, and everything. COVID-19 and coronavirus, how it's been affecting you. Also about your transition from being a soccer player to now like a photographer, because your photos are like really great, like beautiful. I love
Thanks,
them a
bro.
lot. And you're traveling, like you travel a lot of places to take pictures and also to focus on your projects.
Mm.
So I also want to talk about that, of course, if you don't mind. And
Yeah, of course.
the first question is how have you been affected by COVID-19?
I think I've been I think I'm natural. I mean, so there's two ways of it of obviously affecting me. So in terms of work, it's been affecting me greatly because I was recently I was working with Relevant Sports who run the ICC tournament, who bring all of the Big Ten players and clubs here, so like Man United and Chelsea and Arsenal and all Real Madrid and all the teams. So they were going to come here for obviously the summer tournament, and
Yeah,
now that's canceled because obviously nobody's playing any games. They're trying to finish their seasons, and then obviously that affected the business. So now I've been furloughed. So I haven't been working for about a month and a half. Um, but then also obviously you're locked in your house. So with being locked in my house and not being able to be creative outside and being able to play and shoot the game and obviously watch the game, it's been tough. But what I've done is I've kind of focused back in doing things that I've never thought I'd be doing again. Like
yeah,
now I'm reading all the time. I'm working out 3 or 4 times a day. So I think I'm trying to look at it the positive way and kind of go back to things that I used to enjoy doing before obviously the internet and all this stuff got crazy and you get a job and like try to step back into the right picture. But luckily, all of my family members are safe. I'm good. Just finding different ways to still be positive within this crazy situation.
yeah, definitely. Well,
What about you, man? What about you? How you keeping up with it?
like it's been great. Like I make sure to put like a little schedule. So that's like the biggest advice I give to my friends and to my family members. I just
Mm-hmm.
have a little schedule, which is go to school from 8:15 to 2:15 because I have to do the whole schedule thing. It's not like
Really?
they let me work. Like I have to, like, for example, if I have English first period, I have to attend to English.
But
And
this is all on Zoom.
yeah, no, yeah, online, yeah. I mean, I don't really go to Zoom. I just go to Zoom with two classes.
Okay.
But yeah, she just says the work, and I have to finish just from since the start until the end. So I have to finish by the time the class finishes. Even yeah, basically. So if it's like I want to say real life, but this is real life. So like
Yeah.
before the quarantine, normally that's better. Um, if I can, so if I have to finish my work by 2:15, which is the end of the school year.
Yeah.
Say I have my last class was at 2:15. So if I have her as my last period, I have to finish the classwork by 2:15.
So like it's literally like school, but literally at home. So I like it a lot because first of all, it made me feel like I'm famous. Like I can go outside because people are gonna recognize me. I used to think that, but like like when it happened, like I got like this big crush on a celebrity, and then she does like online school stuff like that. I'm
Mm.
like, now I feel like her. You see? That was yeah. But if it's no more, then after that, since my new classroom is my kitchen, I
uh,
made to help out my mom in cleaning it when I finish. And
okay.
after that, I start working out, even though I've been slacking lately. I'm not even gonna lie. But I'm supposed to work out, and then
Why do
after
you
that,
skip? Why do you skip the workout?
huh?
Why do
Even
you skip the workout?
I had spring break, so I was like, in reality, in spring break when I have soccer, I just take a break. So I don't know. I just stuck in there, but I'm making sure I could at least could do 2 times a week.
Yeah.
But I just wish like before, like I could have like the same mentality before the spring break when I was like every day. But I'm getting back to it. I'm also like moving, so
Oh,
like
okay.
there's not a lot of space. But that's just an excuse at this point.
Are you staying in the Bronx?
Yeah, yeah. I'm just in the around the six train.
Oh, okay.
Um, but yeah, and then after that, after I work out, we'll take a shower, and then I start for about 30 minutes or an hour. I start editing the previous interviews, and
Mm.
then after that, I just go play with my friends until. Well, I'm trying to go to sleep early, but I just can't. So I go to sleep like around 1 or 2 a.m., which is horrible because
Yeah.
I wake up
Yeah.
at
For
8,
me, I usually go to sleep early, but lately I've been going to sleep at like 12:31.
which is really funny because like I don't understand my body because I have school at 8:15 the same way I have school at 8:15 normally.
Yeah.
Like it's not a big change, but I think just a video games. My mom doesn't let me play when I'm in school, so
Uh,
like she's letting me play to stay distracted and to stay not bad at home, I guess.
yeah. Stay
And,
positive.
yeah,
Positive minded.
but yeah, I mean I see it like I mean it is a horrible time. A lot of people are dying, but I see it as a good time. Like I really had the chance to focus on myself and focus on my body.
Yeah. It's like you gotta still see the positive out of everything.
So you may have rare, but really great because I love your work ethic. I love your work and your passion for photography and soccer as well. But you made a very professional transition from pro soccer player to being a photographer and making projects for yourself. What was that tradition? Was that transition something you planned to do even while you were playing soccer, or that just came out of no as an idea?
I mean, I think so. I was kind of off doing photography off and on throughout my career. Um, Mainly, photography just started as like a hobby when I was probably around your age, just collecting sneakers and taking pictures of your sneakers and selling shoes. And then when I obviously as I got more and more focused in soccer, as like national team came up, and then youth national team came up, and then went to college, and then was
Drafted.
a rookie in the league. I needed a different thing to kind of keep my creative juices flowing and something to do outside of just going to practice and coming home and playing FIFA all day. I was just playing FIFA all day after training. So
Well,
I was like, I
that's
need to get a
cool.
camera. I got a camera again, and then I started taking pictures. And I guess a lot of brands realized that I first worked with Mitchell and S, and Mitchell and S was like, "Oh, you can do your photographer as well. Like, we'd love to take pictures. Have you take the pictures for the line we're doing with Philadelphia Union?" And that was the first time I ever really got paid professionally for like a brand to do work with them. And then after that, it kind of just turned into a continuous thing. So while I was then when I moved to New York, I just started working with more and more brands. Um, so for those 2 years I was playing with MICFC, I was making a decent amount of money off the field just playing. And then it came to a point in my career where I was kind of like, I think I want to do something else in my life. Like I've moved around a bunch. Either I want to play in the right situation, or I'm just going to retire and pursue my other dream, which is being creating some cool stuff. Um, so I think it came down to a decision where I could have gone and played in Norway for a first division team. There were some less teams that were interested that I didn't think were the right like life move for me.
Yeah.
And then when the Norway contract was put on the table, I decided to say no, and I just pursued other options that I had, which was a career with working with Adidas and the MLS. I did a show with Vox where I was the host, and then since then it's kind of just been continuous situations that have kind of been, blessings for me and coming up with, different means of making money and pursuing this whole photography and art kind of thing. So it's been cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even gonna lie, I was pretty sad. I was pretty sad. I was like, I mean, cause I mean, you knew I was like in the front row every time like you were playing and stuff like that. I was like, so when you guys played for that side, I saw you, right? It was great.
Yeah.
And I was like I remember like the first reaction when I saw like they were releasing you, which I was like, man, they didn't give that man the money he deserves. That's literally the first thing I said. Um, and then I sit back and I was like, man, who am I supposed to watch at right back now? And then
Yeah.
like, I was a little pissed. I'm not gonna lie, but not at you. I sort of got like the first thought that came to my mind, like, NYCFC didn't give this man the money he deserved because you had a great season those 2 seasons. So I was like, that means when I get his bag and he deserves it. And I was like, oh no way, he didn't give it to him.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, like, I don't even have any animosity towards or anger towards the club.
Yeah, definitely.
Or Patrick or anybody who was involved in that decision. I felt like it was in my head. Had already come to at peace with where I was at, and I was willing to leave the MLS to get what I thought I deserved. And then Norway came, and it was what I thought I deserved. And I was like, I'm actually all right. So I stopped playing. I mean, I do still miss. Obviously, I miss playing with the homies. I miss the locker room. I miss all that stuff. But every day I feel like there's something that tells me, there's I'm on the right path. I think I made a good decision, and I would have been here one day eventually.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, your pictures are really good. Like I said in the beginning, like I like them a lot. And like, well, what kind of things do you do to prepare yourself in a new field as a photographer?
I think it's really just pushing yourself. I mean, obviously I think there's been kind of like there's like with soccer, like you kind of learn by like throwing yourself in situations and practicing and I think it's you kind of say you can do things when you don't always do them, but you learn on your feet. The way what I've done is I've told myself I got to attack this with the same passion that I attacked soccer. I try to tell myself that every day. Obviously, it's hard to do that with that mentality. I think when you do that, you'll you'll reap the rewards.
So one of the things that stood out for me when I I didn't really have to do a lot of research because I'm a big fan of you. But you went to the Champions League final last year.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted for you to describe what was the atmosphere and the people, like how was being in Champions League finals, especially in the spot that you were, like the best spot, I bet.
It was crazy. I truly didn't. I don't know if I could have expected more from it. Only thing I wish was better was the game.
Yeah, that game was really
only. But I mean, but the build up, like everything, like when I heard that there was 70,000 Liverpool fans coming with no ticket, and like 50,000 Tottenham fans, so the city was like packed. There was like red everywhere, and then you would see the Tottenham fans everywhere, and the Liverpool fans were like, "We're gonna win this," and singing songs all throughout the city. And that was like the night of the game, of the night before the game, the night of the game, and then the game was like walking onto the field. I was like, "Yo, this." I felt like my heart was racing. You know what I mean? Because I know what it's like to play the game, but like that's still the level of like where all of us want to be at as players.
Definitely.
So like my heart was racing. I was nervous. Like, and then the first minute is the PK, and I'm like right behind the goal where Mo Salah's like bending over to put the ball down. I'm like, yo, this is like
the best scenario.
Yeah, this is like there's words can't even explain it because it's like better than seeing it on TV. It's like you're getting the same camera angle as the TV, but you're like right there.
Yeah,
Um,
I was a ball boy one of the games that you was playing at, and then I remember like giving the ball to Rono at Matarita. But like,
uh,
hey, gracias, gracias. I'm like, welcome, welcome. I was so like, yeah, I'm like, he just said thank you to me. He's Spanish too.
yeah,
And I put yourself in a position like, no, like, in the Champions League finals, especially when most of the scores, it's in the side of where you are, and also
right,
celebrating the side that you are too. That's special. That's on top of
yeah.
story.
Yeah, so I mean, like things like that. Like I retired a year before that, and like then I'm at the champion. I'm shooting the Champions League final. And most all accelerators right in front of me. Like those are things that tell me like this is I've put myself in the right space. You know,
Yeah,
and there's like little signs that tell me I made the right choice.
definitely. So is it difficult with the type of atmosphere that is in the Champions League? Is it difficult to focus on your assignment as a photographer when you have those people just screaming, singing their songs, and then you got players in front of you, you hear them talking?
Is but it isn't because like for me the way I like soccer games or like I like to tell the story of the game. So like in 30 years when there's somebody who wants to look back at the Tottenham versus Liverpool Champions League final, they can go. This is fans were like, this is what the stadium was like. This is what the game like. If you look at all the photos, it'll kind of give you the story of the game. So for me, like it's easy because I'm like living it as I'm shooting it
Yeah.
almost, and um, then right after I need to tell this. I want to be able to share this story with as many people as I can because that's my other passion. You know what I mean? Like that's the other. That's how I'm making my new pursuit. So yeah, I mean that's for me. Like as soon as the game ended and I got the photos and that they were like celebrating with the trophy, I was like, okay, I'm about to go edit these. Like I want to see how cool I can tell this story. You know. Um, yeah. So
Oh,
for me, no, it wasn't hard. It wasn't hard. And then after that, you know, you just gotta like, oh, damn, I just shot the Champions League final.
definitely. Well, my
Gotta like,
dad says that pictures are for memory, so that makes a lot of sense. And especially
yep.
I see your pictures. I saw that you went to NYCFC Rebels game, and
Mm-hmm.
those games are really tense. And like the way you edit the pictures and like the games, I like how the game went. So I could see like where you're trying to come from. Like now that you said that, I'm thinking about the pictures that from that game. I was like, yeah, like you actually trying
Yeah,
to
like
tell the story.
yeah, trying to tell yeah, and I don't. I think because I played, I see it differently than a lot of other photographers. You know, what I mean, I feel like I see the moments that other photographers not realize are pivotal moments, or like the quiet moments when somebody's like thinking like about like a player's in deep thought, or like he's super excited, or like that kind of stuff. I feel like I see it differently than other photographers might see it because I played. I was once that player.
Yeah. Voilà. So for both photography and also soccer as well, what can you say about the place you have traveled and I mean, what can you say about the place you have traveled to and the lessons you have learned along the way of those places that you traveled to?
Um, I would say I think traveling is the best. It's the best thing in the world. I think it's like the like I think everybody should travel. I think traveling makes you a more well-rounded person, a more well-rounded human being. Um, and that, whether that's for travel, I mean for fun or for professional, you can get on the road, or whether you're playing soccer or whatever it is. I think the more cultures that you can touch and see, and whether it's food or music or interacting with people, or I think I think it's super important because I think you obviously you can get stuck in your bubbles, and I think the more you throw yourself into different kind of environments, different ways of life, um, understanding different people and where they came from and why they are the way they are, and the way they live their life. Um, so I would highly encourage it. I love it. I mean, my girlfriend and I are always trying to figure out how to get out of New York. We love New York, but it's
Yeah.
like, all right, where are we going next?
Yeah.
But like, so what I've learned through my travels was just always I need more.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. I could.
and
Yeah.
and also and I also like I want to be able to document it. I always want to be able to shoot it. But yeah.
Um. I mean, yeah, I agree with you. My parents love to travel a lot. A lot of times they leave me at home, but it's okay. Now, but
Right
like,
there. So sometimes they probably need a break from you too.
definitely. Some of the time that we went to travel, like it's been really cool. I just feel like, well, so I went to Spain and Italy and France. I feel like I was too young to appreciate it.
Mhm. How
So
old were you?
I was the first time I went, I was like 6 or 7.
Oh, okay, yeah, you were
I could
young.
try to be wrong though, but no, the second time that I went, I was 10. No,
Okay.
sorry, I was 8, 9, 9, 9, definitely 9. Yeah, I remember 9, because I moved here when I was 10 and 9. Yeah, and I was 8 when I went to yeah 9. But I only went
Yeah.
to Spain. When
We
I went to France, France was different though. France, I could remember that. That was special.
yeah. I feel like I didn't really like I'd been out of the country because of soccer, but never really appreciate it until I was probably like like 17. You're 17, right?
Yeah,
16 or
I'm about
17.
to turn 17. Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't really appreciate it until I was 17 when I was in France like by myself.
Yeah.
And like that was when I was like, oh, like now I can like nothing was taken care of for me. So like I had to figure out how to communicate with people and realize like different ways of life and how to survive in a different country. This is how they live and understanding that. That was when I fell in love with traveling. So that until that older age.
Yeah. Cities. What's one that you recommend?
Oh, that's hard. Recommend for who?
Okay, so my family, for example, a mother, father, 5-year-old kid, and a 16-year-old kid,
Hmm.
and parents pretty young too.
I would say Portugal.
Portugal?
Yeah, I would say Portugal. Portugal was cool. My girlfriend and I went last summer, and it's like it's cool because there's like it's right on the Mediterranean, or
Yeah.
like it's the most western and southern point of Europe. Um, so like it's like right on the beach, but it's not too hot, but it's not too cold. But it's also the beach is like an hour away from Lisbon, so you can be on the beach, um, and it's like sunny and nice, and but it's like breezy, like almost like California weather. And then you could go to the city, and it's like that's where Benfica plays and Porto plays, and it's like really good food. There's a lot of different cultures there. I would say Portugal, and it's like reasonably priced. Like I would say if there's a family, like that's exactly where I would
Yeah,
go.
that sounds interesting.
But then I would also say like Brazil is cool. Like Rio de Janeiro is cool.
Yeah,
Um,
that's crazy. Well, that crazy good.
yeah, those are probably my two favorite spots I've been to recently.
But is it tough? Like, since you speak English, right? And then over there they speak Portuguese, and then in Brazil they speak Brazilian. Like, how do you?
Yeah. So it's pretty tough. My girlfriend speaks Spanish. I can understand a little bit of Spanish. Um, but the Portuguese they just pronounce things differently. So
Yeah,
my girlfriend can speak Spanish, so she can kind of understand or say things speaking Spanish, and they'll understand her. But for me, when we were in Portugal, I was just kind of quiet. Same in Brazil too. Um, but I mean, I think the world is so everybody can communicate now in the world. Whether you're using an app or like you go to a restaurant, they'll have an English menu, or you can still get around, or like people will make an effort to try to help you out. But also, I think people should also, if you're going somewhere, you should try to like that's why I like traveling, because I always immerse myself in the culture. So I always try to learn new words, and like I want to, like, if I'm in, for example, we were just in Panama not too long ago before the coronavirus came, and I wanted to learn so much Spanish. So I was telling my girlfriend's family only speak to me in Spanish,
Nice.
and I would only respond to them in Spanish and joke around with them in Spanish. I think that's important too. Like you said, like I said, you can become a more well-rounded person.
Yeah. I mean, that's also like the good side of
It's fun
traveling.
too. It's fun. I think it's fun too, and it's a fun way to get to know other people. Like,
Yeah.
just start, if you don't know a stranger, but they want. I'm sure they always want to get to know an American, somebody who grew up in America, because like just they're interesting as well. They find you interesting as well. So I think them being able to interact and joke around and teach you a language is I think most times other people will enjoy it.
Yeah, and also that's just like the good side of traveling, which is you're gonna have frustration because you don't understand, but like that's traveling. You're going to new culture, new language, so like you feel like, I mean, you're gonna be confused, of course, but like you're just gonna be like, I never heard that before in my life, but I'm gonna keep that in mind just in case.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
took
for sure.
French classes in Venezuela because I went to a Catholic school,
Okay,
and then literally I just said bonjour. That's it.
that's
So
how you learn.
yeah, literally. So the only time that when I went to the only time I went to France, right? Every time I went to the store, bonjour, bonjour, and like, it was hilarious. It was funny, man. I hope they didn't feel disrespected, cause I would feel disrespected. Somebody would like, hello, hello, hello. But I mean, I was there, so it don't matter. It don't matter. But yeah, definitely. Portugal being one of my top lists, but it's not really Lisbon. It's like a island. Oh my god, Madeira.
Okay, yeah,
That's like a little island. I'm
yeah.
probably
So
wrong, and then I'm really pissed off that I'm wrong about that. Oh, Dubai too. But
yeah,
Dubai. I've been telling this to everybody. Like, if I work hard and God bless me, I'm going. If I be professional, the first year, that first off season, I'm going to Dubai. I don't know how I'm going to make it work, but I want to go there. At least,
I've never been to Dubai.
yeah, but it's just hard. It's just a lot of. It's hard because it's like big buildings and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
um, for how do you think photography can contribute to the cultural and lifestyle parts of the sport in ways that introduce soccer to new audience?
I think one thing, for me personally, I think photography can be a big part, because and like now obviously you see the like, have you been watching the Michael Jordan documentary?
Yeah, yeah, that's
So you see you see what how many people want to see behind the scenes stories, and like get access, and like there's hunger for seeing what is behind the doors of all these teams and organizations and players. Like, what do these people really like? And like, what is that championship? Like, what would it like to be behind the doors of that Barcelona team? Like, where like it was like Xavi, Iniesta, Messi, like it would be, and Meto. It would be crazy to see like how those guys interacted with each other. So I think that's how photography can kind of shine some light on audiences, because I think the American audience is used to, or I'm saying that somebody who's trying to get into soccer is oftentimes used to seeing, the behind the scenes. Like, we know who LeBron James is, and we can see like all that stuff. But I think if we can figure out ways to kind of highlight soccer players the same way, like if we had a documentary like that, like a soccer documentary on Messi, like they did on Jordan, like that'd be crazy. And like, I don't know if you saw the Maradona documentary that was on HBO, but yeah, I think pieces like that are amazing. So I think the more we can kind of tell stories and people can relate to these soccer players, especially here, and get to know them as more than just players, and see them as relatable people, more people will get into the sport.
yeah. ESPN or Sportscenter posted a picture about how cameras were in the last season of Kobe. So if that's the documentary, like that's the one I want to see next. But like, really, I don't really watch documentaries at all. But then I was like, quarantine, Michael Jordan. A lot of people are talking about it, so why not see it?
Yeah.
My uncle and I are sharing like the family time thingy YouTube TV.
Hmm.
So I'll be watching that. I'll be watching clips. I mean, well, I grew. I promise I grew between the time that we have met, but you know how I'm still a short person. I played center back now, so that I've been
Okay.
watching Sergio Ramos, and then a lot of short like center backs who are really good. And yeah,
Yeah.
and then as well, like I literally just came off of Jimmy Conrad interview as well, and he gave me a lot of advice. And
Okay.
it's just like the audience,
Watch Cannavaro. Watch Cannavaro.
huh?
Watch Cannavaro.
That's why I'm on my top list too. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, just like sometimes like I don't know why I like to say this, but it makes sense. Soccer has changed in so many ways that I don't really like watching tape from all players. Of course, they're great, and of course, sometimes I do watch them because they're fun to watch. But just like soccer, just became like faster. Like for example, the fullbacks does a lot more than what the fullbacks did 10 years.
Yeah.
So every time they put me at fullback, I was like, oh man, I'm not fit for this. Like I gotta run up and down every time. And then when I
Mm.
play center, I just like I gotta like read what the striker is going to do and then position
Yeah.
correctly. And then you just as a fullback or as a midfielder, like you just gotta be smart. I mean, of course you gotta be smart in any position, but those two is very important. But what to wrap this up? I have like a little soccer section, even though this was about soccer. So I think your favorite team is Arsenal, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah. Arsenal and Bayern Munich.
So if you could be the coach of Arsenal or Bayern, whoever you choose, and you could bring
Mm.
one player, all-time player from anywhere, anytime, who would it be and why?
Ever? Like,
Ever, all the time.
if
Also,
I
you
could
can play
pick one,
you could put Pelé and everybody, like anyone, anytime. You just gotta choose one.
if I could bring one player to Arsenal right now,
Yeah, at all time, at the peak, at the prime, anyone. Who would it be and why? And of course, you're also coaching as well. So
it would have to be Ronaldinho. Ronaldinho, in his prime when he was at Barcelona.
yeah, okay. I just say the why.
For me, he was like, why?
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know. Like for me, when I was a kid, like when I could finally when I was of an age to finally understand the game and like how he dominated like the world at that point, doing whatever he wanted, and he made it look fun. Um, yeah, he was the best player to watch. He was scoring ridiculous amounts of goals. All his teammates loved him. He may have partied too much, but he was. They were really, really good. So I would say, oh, yeah, I would have to pick Ronaldinho.
so wait, so let's say okay, let's cross out the coaching part. Will you play in Arsenal? Like, let's say you play in Arsenal, right? And Ronaldinho was your teammate. You will still choose Ronaldinho.
Hey, oh, what teammate would I pick?
Yeah. All the time, by the way. You can choose anytime.
What teammate would I pick? For this current Arsenal team, I would have to pick Patrick Vieira.
Okay, I understand that. Wow, yeah.
When he was at Arsenal and he was the captain,
Yeah.
they were unbelievable.
It was great. Yeah, definitely. Well, once again, I'm pretty thankful and thankful for you to accept my invitation to be my.
Of course, man. Of course. Thank you for having me.
To wrap everything up, thank you so much, Ethan White, for the opportunity to talk to me. Hope all you guys are staying safe at home. Thank you so much for the ones who are donating for Power of 11, the student athletes, and also the staff member. Appreciate it a lot. I know right now we live in some complicated situation. I hope all of you guys are staying safe. Um, I'm really proud of the movement that everything about the movement that's going on and how we could make a change together. Just stay together, and if you guys gonna go out, remember to wear a mask. And yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for all the support, and see you guys next week.